Pharaoh of the Nile. During its heyday, Egypt was the world power of its day. Historians speculate that Egypt was one of the first nations to help establish civilization on Earth. Going back 2,000 years or more, from 2018 AD, ancient Egypt had the best mathematicians, scientists, and doctors during that time period. These professional peoples helped build some of mankind's best architectural feats, such as the Great Pyramids at Giza, the temples at Abu Simbel, and many dams and other wonders from the ancient world. Scientists and doctors perfected one of the best funeral preservation of the dead, mummification. Over 3,000 or 4,000 years, mankind is in awe how technology of 3,000 or 4,000 years in ancient times could preserve the remains of the human body to be examined by archaeologists of today. Like any other world power during its day, there were other nations or empires which presented a threat or threats to Egypt and its territorial possessions during its heyday. This movie will make an attempt to examine ancient Egypt and one of its neighboring countries that would like to rule Egypt and its empire. It should be noted that this particular abstract is constructed from fact and fiction resources. Background: Pharaoh on the throne of Egypt, threatened by the Nubians and their leader from the south of Egypt. The leader and Nubians are jealous of Egypt and its possessions and its natural resources, such as its fertile soil. Egypt has the largest and outstanding armed forces in the ancient world at that time. King of Nubia, Menestop, will stop at nothing to seize the Egyptian throne and its peoples. He is eager for power. Nubia is located beneath Egypt at its southern gate. Nubia, or sometimes referred to as Ethiopia, is in need of grain to feed its peoples. Pharaoh of Egypt will only allow the Nubians to grain and other resources only if they work for it. The Nubians fear working for the Egyptians because it might lead to slavery. The Nubians prefer to loot the goods they need. The Nubians prefer to loot the goods they needed from Egypt. Scene 1. In the land of Egypt, Pharaoh Amenhotep XVI sits on the Egyptian throne, overlooking his vast possessions in Egypt and the northern tip of Nubia. Besides him on the throne sits Queen Isis, his wife. Queen Isis: My Pharaoh, what troubles your heart and mind? Amenhotep XVI: There was a possibility of an invasion from the south of Egypt. Isis: And an invasion? Amenhotep XVI: Yes, and an invasion. Isis: The Nubians in the south have always been peaceful. What happened to our alliance of peace with that nation? Amenhotep XVI: Nubia is experiencing agricultural issues in its land. The Nubians prefer not to work for us, but to attack us, loot our resources, and put us under their control. They fear the institution of slavery. With their resources almost diminished, they want our resources. Scene 2. In Nubia, the royal throne prepares to address its subjects concerning the prospects of war against Egypt. King Menestop and Queen Menestopia give their political views concerning why Nubia should attack Egypt for its vital resources. King Menestop speaks: People of Nubia, we are in grave danger. Our resources that provide food to our peoples are being threatened by drought. Our neighbors, such as the nation of Egypt, has offered us little help. For example, Egypt would provide nourishment, however, if we work for them in their own land. Popular speaking, should we go to Egypt for them to help us with our problems? Or maybe we should contemplate the idea of attacking Egypt and making that country a part of our country. Populus continues to speak. If we make Egypt part of Nubia, we will no longer be threatened by drought, hunger, and thirst. King Menestop. Negotiations have existed between the Egyptian Empire and Nubia for years. Little advancement has developed concerning sharing ownership of territories. Therefore, Nubia will declare war on Egypt and its territorial lands. We need those fertile lands to feed our masses. Queen Menestopia speaking. My lord, are you sure that war is the only answer to settle the dispute with Egypt? Menestoph, my queen, we have made every attempt to resolve our problems and differences with Egypt peacefully. However, the talks have not worked. I will consult with General Ox first thing this afternoon concerning our strategy against Egypt. Scene 3. In another side of Nubia, General Ox prepares his strategy against Egypt and make an inspection of all of his armed forces that will be going to battle. General Ox expects his men, artillery, and chariots. General Ox speaking. Men of Nubia, art thou prepared to go to war for thou king? Art thou prepared to die for Nubia? Armed forces of Nubia give a reply to their king and General Ox. King Mesopha, we are ready to serve thee whenever you need us for your service. We are here for you, King, in Nubia. King Menestop, let's proceed, gentlemen, and claim the victory. World subjects wait outside of the castle outside of the fortress to give farewell to their king and the armed forces of Nubia. Popular speaking, Your Majesty, go with the gods of Nubia to win the war against Egypt. We need their rich soil and wheat for our peoples. Scene 4. Back in Egypt, the Pharaoh and Queen are made aware of an actual invasion from Nubia. General Kushwe advises Amenhotep XVI to prepare for battle by giving his navy an overhaul and muster his armies to battle. The royal subjects of Egypt support their monarchy for fear of being seized by the Nubians. Isis speaking. Great Pharaoh, is it necessary to wage war with the Nubians? I love thee with all of my heart. I do not want our children to be without a father. I do not want our country and empire to be without a king. O great one, please reconsider this war and do not go into battle. Pharaoh Amenhotep XVI, my queen, I have spoken with King Menestop on his own Nubian soil. He does not want to form an alliance to prevent a war, nor does he want to send his citizens into Egypt to work for the wheat and resources that they need. Only one solution awaits both empires: war. General Kushwe, Pharaoh Amenhotep XVI, let's proceed to Egypt's borders and the south to defend our land and empire. Amenhotep XVI, yes, General Kushwe, let's proceed south to Egypt, and let me also dispatch commands to our navy to patrol and safeguard our waters, irrigation systems, and the Nile River. The royal subjects see the armed forces of Egypt march south and the navy to protect the territorial waters of the Egyptian empire. The royal subjects bid farewell to everyone. Scene 5. In Nubia, the armed forces marched north to defeat the armed forces of Egypt. King Meseta is fully equipped with men of the archery and men of the horse and chariot. General Ox speaking. King Meseta, let's proceed north and plan our strategy of attack against Egypt. We want to defeat Egypt and let them know who are the true rulers of Eastern Africa from the south to the north. King Menester speaks, let's proceed, General Ox, and claim the victory. Scene 6. At the southern border of Egypt, both armies of Nubia and Egypt meet. Generals from both nation states prepare for battle. General Kushwe, my Pharaoh, I see the enemy's armed forces at the foot of the Egyptian empire. King Mesapha and his men are well equipped and they are prepared to conduct battle. The question is, which army will start the offensive attack? Amenhotep XVI. Order the armed forces of Egypt to march behind the mountains and bushes of our southern border. We shall wait here to see any signs of the Nubians. General Ox speaking. My king, let's proceed against this nation.